Today's guest is Vinny Smiles Chopra, who also made a fortune in real estate while never dealing with tenants, and we will learn how he did that, along with how to live life with a smile on your face. Welcome to Richer Soul, Life Beyond Money, the last baby step. Imagine it's 12 months from now and you've achieved your major life goals. How does it feel to be in the best shape of your life? To wake up energized, excited about the day? What's it like to have great relationships and friends who support you and propel you forward? How does it feel to have an excess of money to be able to make the choices you want? To be fearless and open to trying new adventures? Imagine being connected to the universe and it providing everything you desire. It's possible over time, and your past does not dictate your future. The only thing holding you back from this vision is you. It's time to take control of your thoughts and use them to your advantage. I help people live the life of their dreams and bring balance to health, wealth, relationships, time, and spirituality. You can see how on richersoul.com by looking under the coaching call tab to hear actual coaching sessions. If you haven't listened to episodes 1 through 9, I encourage you to go back and listen to the framework behind Richer Soul and how to create the life of your dreams. It's simpler than you can imagine. You can also find all the show notes for this episode. I've also started to send out a monthly email, and you can sign up while you're there. In the short monthly email, I will share the best articles of the month, let you know about upcoming episodes, and also share a little wisdom I've learned this month. I also share the most interesting articles I read every week on Facebook at facebook.com/Richer Soul. It's harder to keep wealth than it is to make it. Once you come up with a system to create wealth, you then need to come up with a system to keep it. If you'd like a second opinion on your financial plans or are worried about missing out on something, check out the SWOT analysis. Strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats at richersoul.com/SWOT. This is going to be the last episode on real estate for a while. I focused on this because I realize how easy it is over time to build wealth through real estate, and also that there are so many different ways to do it. You also don't need money to get started. Before we meet Vinny, I want to talk a little bit about assets versus liabilities. Assets are something that should bring you revenue, while liabilities are debts you need to pay. Clearly, having a lot more assets than liabilities leads to great wealth and freedom. With the balance sheet, you can figure out what your assets to liabilities look like. Once you know where you are and you know where you want to go, its simple financial calculators will help show you what you need to do to achieve your financial goals. Speaking of assets, your house may not be an asset. Many people lost money in real estate markets when the markets crashed 10 years ago. But even those that have not may not see any real gain in the value of their house. Once you add in borrowing costs, maintenance, real estate taxes, upgrades, and especially opportunity costs of using the money elsewhere, you may realize that your home is not an asset. Yes, you do need to live somewhere, and some people will actually buy real estate in one area, rent it out, and use the rental income to pay for rent where they live. It allows you to get the benefits of real estate as an asset, but also the freedom to move about and not worry about maintaining a home. I also want to mention rate of return. What's real and what's fake? Many people, when talking about real estate, create rates of return that are not real. If you buy a house with 10% down, your true cost is still 100% of the purchase price. That is what your return should be based on. Sometimes people base the return on just what they invested, which makes it look a lot higher. You're not comparing things properly in that case and can make an error in your analysis of true returns over time. So, let's talk about our guest. There's a reason Vinny's nickname is Mr. Smiles. He has always believed in individuals' ability to shape the world around them through positive thought, selfless actions, and has been a passionate motivational speaker and teacher for over 3 decades. The story behind Vinny Chopra's success in real estate, investment, and syndication is a testament to the power of enthusiasm, passion, persistence, and positivity. Currently, Vinny oversees Monil Investment Group, LLC, and Monil Management Group, LLC. He is wrapping up his first 2 companies at the same time to focus his efforts on his other passion project, educating individuals of all ages through his multifamily academy. Let's meet Vinny. Welcome to Richer Soul, Vinny Chopra. It's great to have you join us today.
Thank you, Rocky. Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be on your show. I hope I can add value to your audience here in my office in California, near to San Francisco, in a small town called Danville.
You must have wonderful weather out there. We're in the cold out here on the East Coast.
It sure is. Actually, this morning I walked from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m., brisk walking with my buddies, and it was 45 degrees. But right now, I think it's about 58, 59 and sunny.
I think we always think of California, we always think of warm weather, but it's not always the case.
Yeah, it gets cooler in the month of December, I would say, and January,
So we always start at the beginning. What was it like when you were growing up, and how much did your family and school teach you about money?
Wow. Well, I grew up in New Delhi, India. I was born there. My grandpa and my father, of course, they came from Lahore, and my grandparents lived in Paharganj. I was in Moti Bagh, south of Delhi, just being the second in the family, my older sister, then me, and then we have 4 more siblings. So we were 6, actually, in the household, and very humble beginning. My dad, we grew up in just 2-bedroom apartment, and, went to elementary, junior high, high school there in Moti Bagh, and I got a scholarship. That was kind of nice. I was very studious boy back then, and now also I'm very inquisitive and all. And I got a scholarship to go to engineering. I always wanted to go to do a mechanical engineering. I will break the toys when I was young, try to put it together, and the art, small different things, made me make some models when I was growing up. So 5 years of engineering, I became mechanical engineer with distinction in production. I thought that'll be a tremendous way to add to my qualifications. Worked with Larsen Toubro in Bombay, worked there, but I always had a desire. Even when I was in high school, I remember I wanted to come out to the land of opportunity, USA. My uncle had come here in 1963, and I graduated 69, graduated 74 in my engineering. So I wanted to come out here for sure. When I came, I got accepted at George Washington University back east in Washington, D.C. I got the admission to the university, but the visa was becoming a problem back then. They would keep on denying it, but my persistent nature and not giving up took me some time, but I did arrive here with $7 in my pocket. I mean, that was the maximum. Of course, we couldn't bring any more legally, and then also my parents didn't have much money. My grandpa, who was the force behind me, paid for the airline ticket and everything. But coming here to Washington, D.C., in that area on the East Coast, I just got started. My uncle paid for my first tuition, I remember. And then after that, I said, hey, I got to earn money. So money-wise, we didn't have much back there in India. I remember I used to get like 5 rupees for allowance when I was growing up. And drinking a Coke once a month was a pretty, what's the word? I always look forward to the first of the month and eat a small piece of pound cake. I remember that for 25 cents or 25 paisa way back. So very humble beginning. We were always very happy. Yeah, I mean, everybody in our family, we never thought that we didn't have too much or things like that. We were very happy and what we had and so forth. That's the outlook I keep always with our children also right here. Maybe I'll answer some more questions if you will ask me from this point forward. I've kind of tattled quite a lot.
I was going to ask you, what have you done to teach your kids about money now that you've had success?
That's quite interesting. I'm definitely have been able to let them know. Our son is 33 and daughter is 30 now. They have seen humble beginnings over here also in USA when I had no money. I sold Bible books and encyclopedias to earn money, to earn tuition. And I was the proctor examiner for the George Washington University. And I taught also, always. And my first car was like $700. Car, Blue Maverick, 2-door. My wife and I both had very humble beginnings, and we try to mention it, and they know it. They know it because we have related that to our kids. Just to say that, our son, by golly, I mean, he also has very, very sharp, intelligence and everything. And I was sharing with my friend today, our son has not taken a penny from us from the high school onward. It's amazing. We would try to put $10 in his wallet and he'll take them out. By the end of the day, when I come back into my office, money's lying outside. From humble beginning, he has been a very frugal person, very straightforward, very minimalistic is the word with the millennials now. Not too much and not too many worldly things also, which is kind of nice for us to see that what he believes in. And our daughter also believes in that, even though she shops a lot. Now we have more money and Visa card, and she's able to monetize more spending wise, a lot more than Neil is. What it has happened in the last 40 years for us, even as far back as maybe 10 years back, we didn't have much money, but we have been very happy family-wise, and we'll eat in the restaurants where we could afford and things like that. But lately, in the last 6 years or so, our business has gone way up, and the real estate investments and the passive cash flow incomes have been quite tremendous. So we definitely see a change in our lifestyle lately. But again, we always have felt that we need to be living lifestyle lower than what we can afford. And I know Dave Ramsey talks about that. My ex-CEO, I retired 2 years back, Rocky, from a pretty nice, very nice company from Tennessee after being a promotional consultant, fundraising consultant, and then rising up in their ranks. We always felt like tighten the belt. We should always live 1 or 2 notches tighter than what we can afford, kind of thing. And looking at your website, that really fascinated me. And I'm so grateful that we are talking about it today, because that is really right way to live, is to live what we have, live with passion, live with joy, joyful mind and happiness, and progress also at the same token. Keep looking for the progress, because this life is such that we should impart a lot more energy out to everybody around us, and then more energy will come back into us. Being positive, being goal-oriented, being able to provide for the family. I think that was the biggest thing in my mind. We didn't have much at all, and negative balance and no checking account. I was, helping my parents back home to send all the money there, whatever I had at the end of the month, to help my sisters to get married and so forth like that. all those things which all of us do.
Responsibilities, yes.
It looks like I've been answering a lot more stuff.
That's quite, and I know looking at your pictures, hearing all about you, you're always smiling. And so my question, how do you always smile in the face of so much of life's adversity?
It's just amazing. My name, Vinod, actually is my real name, Vinny, my nickname. And I looked at the definition, and Vinod means happiness, I guess. And my parents kind of kept it there. Somehow or the other, I was not like that. Even back in high school, I think I was a student of learning. I guess that's what I can definitely say. But I've been trying to read a lot of books. When I came to USA, I was exposed quite a bit to positive, Charlie Tremendous Jones, Life is Tremendous, Og Mandino, book, David Schwartz, I think David Schwartz, Magic of Thinking Big, and of course, oh my gosh, what are some other books are coming to my mind. By reading a lot and just having the prospect of life, things will happen in life, ups and downs will happen. But if we can tackle those challenges in a more positive way, in a smiling way, and so forth, and with my mustache, the smiling, I just look in the mirror way back, 40 years back. I said, it's better to be smiling than be frowning, So my company, I was working in sales and marketing. When I got the trophies and my plaques, they took my middle name out, and in parentheses, the company put in my trophy smile. And oh my gosh, I just thought about it when I got it. I said, you know what? That's not a bad idea. Take the Kumar out and let's put smile. So for 42 years, I've had in my signature on my emails and everything, my business card and everything, I just put Vinny Smile Chopra or Vinod Smile Chopra. My wife tells me I smile in my sleep also.
It must be nice to always be at such peace that you can do that.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I feel like things will happen to us and around us. But if we can have a very positive attitude, enthusiasm, and also smiling, looking at things, that things will be okay. Maybe I could share, maybe right now, a miracle has happened in our life just as lately as 4 years back, where our daughter Monica got diagnosed with aplastic anemia, where she was very anemic, and actually we didn't know if she'll live, by the way, for about a year. And I feel like maybe God was preparing us for this particular situation we were going to face 4 years back in 2013. Just to make it very small, thing about it is we had to move back east next to NIH, National Institute of Health. Just about 5 miles from that place, we lived in an apartment for about a year and a half. We left our beautiful lavish home here in Danville, and we lived there, my wife and Monica, and then I was also living with them and coming back to do my motivation speaking back here in California. But to make long story short, we are so happy, and I'm touching the wood right now. She's totally cured. Oh my gosh, with a bone marrow transplant in a research study and so forth. And we just got back. She and I went back there for her 6-month checkup that we do. And now she's totally off medicine. So it's a miracle. People should look into life as if what's given to us, let's just make the best of what we have. That's what it's all about. Happiness is finding the small things in life, not big things. Big things don't give you money.
Well, first of all, that's wonderful news about your daughter, and to hear that she is completely healed and was able to have that miracle. As I look at that, though, it sounds so simple, and yet it seems so hard. What advice do you give people for them to be able to take to heart the attitude you have of just smiling? I think a lot of people would find that hard to do.
Yeah, yeah. No, I'm with you. I'm totally with you. I think it has to be internal. It's not external. And a lot of times in life, we look for outside for happiness. And we like to say that happiness will come when this happens or that happens. You're right. But I think if we, again, try to look into within ourselves, and again, it is hard. I think what you are asking is really true. People are doing yogas and they're doing meditation, they're reading books and all that, which is great. But I think with all that, we have to internalize it, make that decision that, you know what, things will happen in life. And that's what I live my life. I look at it that, things will happen, but it's how I react to it is the main thing. If I look into it as bad the thing might be, which it was 4 years back, for 1 year, we didn't know if our daughter will survive. For 1 year, every night, we did not know. And we cried, but not in front of her. But every time we were in front of her, which was 24 hours almost, we positively told her she'll be fine. She'll be totally fine. By having that attitude, it did come out, and we were going all over the world to find out bone marrow transplant, match, which we didn't find after even 1 year. But then we were still looking for ways, and that's how the life is. We got to be totally looking at the most negative thing that God throws at us to just say, let's accept it. We accepted it when we went to UCSF. But after that, after acceptance comes the phase of discovery, then finding out how we could take care of it, that's what it is. So things will come and go in our life. It's how we really position ourselves. The biggest thing is that, again, it's hard to change ourselves. But if we read some books on the YouTube, there are so many great, great people who tell you how to change your mind, how to think positively, how, if we are in a depression, how to come out of it. It's all free. Then Googling it also. If you are a good reader, of course, Googling any kind of topic. But what I believe in is not to just listen to it, but implement, take one or two things and just put in our life. If we want to be better tomorrow, if we want to be better next week, we got to only change within us. That's what probably has been my always demeanor way back 40 years back. And now I feel a lot of people around me are also kind of finding and seeing, and they are also, hopefully I'm rubbing off on them, things like that. But it's not that easy. If I come back to it, what you asked me the question to start with, it is hard, but it's not that hard either. If we want to change, if we want to have that prospect of life, that sometime we have to just accept things as they are. That's all it is to it. Then also be always looking for how I can make it better for me and for people around me. People will realize that if we are positive, if we are looking into something in the, dark cloud with a silver lining, like we say that, right? If we do in that route, we'll be able to find solutions much easier, much faster. And the sorrowness, this is a good thing I would love to share. Many times we really get ecstatic when we are happy. When good things happen in our life, we are so, so happy about it. But when sorrow comes in our family or our life, we get utterly depressed. So my thinking is, don't get overly excited and don't get utterly depressed. Try to be as in the balance as we can. Then the other thing is, things happen for a reason. That's something I live by also. Don't try to change nature, Mother Nature, or when things come in the life, we should just accept where it is and then find solutions to it. I think that's how I live also. I don't really control things. There are lots of things we can control in life, but there are a lot more things we cannot control. We cannot control at all. So the idea of accepting those things is the best idea. As long as it's not death and paying taxes, I call it, I mean, we got to pay taxes and just live with it. And then also, if we die, we die. We should be just ready for it. But the time we have in this life, in this small stage of life, on a time spectrum, we are a dot. Even if we live up to 100 years or 150 years, it's a very small dot. But what can we do in that little small time span? How to make it positive, everybody around us, and add value to everybody and live the life with integrity and with, foundation. And coming down to it, like you asked me, how to change your thinking about it, it's making internal decision. It's the decision of making ourselves that we'll be happy no matter what, or we'll be smiling no matter what. It's just so amazing that the habits are formed in few days. We are thinking in that perspective today and we look at it. If we are going back to the old self, have the affirmations and the poster boards, and I believe in vision boards and I believe in all those things. This way we could change ourselves incrementally to get better, incrementally to change the perspective, incrementally to smile more, incrementally to be more positive and things like that,
I totally agree with you. We talk about how life is kind of like that compound interest curve. You have to keep showing up, keep taking small steps, and as you keep doing it over time, they compound. The next thing you know, you have explosive growth and a wonderful life, which you're a living example of. You've gone through a lot of different programs to get here. And I know you've been through Tony Robbins, and I think you asked him a question about what % of people actually take action.
Oh my gosh, I was very, very surprised about the answer. And not only from Tony, I remember Tom Hopkins. We paid a lot of money for him coming to leadership in my previous company I retired from. And then also I've read a lot that only 3%. It's so sad. It's so sad that people spend thousands of dollars and they go to these big seminars. And us also, I took my family this year to Tony's seminar, and it was revelational for them too. This is the first time they ever went, by the way. They have seen dad being so positive in the family. And sometimes when you are too positive, that also doesn't go too well.
That's true. I took my family this year too. My wife went and my daughter went as well. And my wife's actually, right as we speak, she's on her way down another program with Tony, Date with Destiny. So we'll see how that goes.
It's wonderful. I'm so glad she's taking that step. And I will encourage everybody because, we spend so much money in our lives. But I always have believed we need to be spending money as we eat every day or every week we go out to restaurants. Why not to feed our mind? Because we need to feed our mind also with a lot of good literature, a lot of good thoughts, a lot of good listening. And podcasts are amazing. Your podcast, Rocky, is amazing. I was just listening to a few before I got on the show. And the whole premise, and there are a lot of other very tremendous podcasts, which can really realign us, to make ourselves better person today and tomorrow and rest of our life. It's not where we have been in the past. It doesn't count. Well, we learned from the past. That's all. But past cannot be changed. 30 seconds back, what we did, we cannot change. I say that always. Don't worry about, learn from it, from the past. But what we are today and what we'll become tomorrow, that's all counts. Nothing counts from the past. I mean, whatever we have done it's okay. But where we are heading from this point forward to next 30 years. Like I'm 65. I turned 65 few months back. I have believed in that 30-30-30 philosophy. In the life, we have three, it's not a quarter, but one third, one third, one third. We get the education and get married in the first 30 and then get a job. Next 30, we have the children and then we amount more our career and earn the monies and everything. Now you're at 60. From 60 to 90 is the significance time. That's where we want to leave the legacy and portray to our children and people around us, how to live a great life. So I think having a vision board is so important. Having affirmations and just, making ourselves, get to that point incrementally to the place of bliss. We will never reach bliss. I don't believe. And lot of people, reach or can reach bliss, but bliss is if we are happy today. That's how I feel. If we have very clear mind and we are able to focus ourselves in all the roles we have to perform as a husband, as a brother, and and father, and as a good citizen, and all those, and businessman, and entrepreneur, and syndicator, who I am, and all my relationships within my business and outside. How can I really be the best in all those roles? That's more important. And then we can change tomorrow by doing what we are doing today. That's why I really love that book, Power of Now. I would love your audience to, really look into and see, Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle, Yeah.
Absolutely. I don't think I've read that one. I've
It's a
added
great
to
one.
my list.
Really great one.
So
Yeah.
in talking to these people, if only three...
But answer your question, you're right. Very few percentage of people really take that, what they grab. Like we were there 4 days, my family and I, we spent $7,000 going down there, staying in the hotel, nice hotel, and paying for his tuition and everything. Tony is awesome. I followed Tony Robbins for 35 years, and bought all his CDs and DVDs and everything. I used to spend about $1,000 when I started making some money. I would spend $500 to $1,000 every year for my personal development. That's needed. That's really needed because that can really make us to grow, and especially young people. I'm so passionate right now about building this multifamily youth academy, which will be always free even after I die. And that is where I'm kind of lecturing and putting things for the young people in the high school and college level so that they can learn the art of saving money and investing money and the compound effect and getting a job and being an entrepreneur at a young age. And then hopefully, getting into real estate, because I think real estate in USA is a great, great place to get started sooner. Just like, we did when we came out here and started buying single family homes and all that, and now into multifamily. So that is big passion of mine. And a lot of other people are doing a great job. Grant Cardone, some things I don't like what he's sharing, but lots of great stuff, for the young millennials well, that's the largest population of USA and around the world also, young people, how to save. Saving is so important at younger age. And then investing it for compound effect. And then trying to get a job and making a business out of it at a young age of 17, 18, 19, 20, and then getting into a duplex at the age of 22. Not a single family home. I really talk about a lot about duplex, triplex, fourplex, fiveplex, because that way you can live for free and be able to have the other renters pay for, your rent, and also for cash flowing. Uh, Passive cash flow is huge. I think if we can really get that understanding of that at a younger age and get some streams of income coming, I think our world will be much happier world where we don't have to work 9 to 5, things like that, but have the passive income and be our own boss. And the whole irony of the situation is this world is going to be changing in next 10, 15, 30 years. US especially also, with the self-driven cars, with all these things happening, with the solar, with, robots, and with the intelligence. This is just mind-boggling what's going to happen in the next 50 years.
It is. And so people are going to have to keep up and change. I know you've made tremendous wealth through real estate, but yet you're not the guy who's answering the phone calls and unclogging the toilets. So how were you able to make that happen?
Very good. Thank you. Thank you, Rocky. I would love to mention we have had a lot of single family homes, but we always made the choice to give 7% or 8% to the property management company nearby to our single family home. We never tackled toilets or tenants or trash at all for the last 30 years. Now we have sold them all, by the way. But then about 2004, I became a broker. My consulting was going on, my fundraising and my being a promotional consultant. But then I had a lot of time. I don't like to watch TV that much. I don't like to look into too many things which are not productive. That's the word. So that's when I became broker, we had to decide how I'm going to utilize that skill. That's when I uncovered in 2005, that's about almost 12 years back, about multifamily. It got me so psyched up. I could not believe how excited I was. I went ahead and bought the book Emerging Markets, which is still out there on the Amazon by Dave Lindahl. And then also I bought Dave Lindahl's another book called Multifamily Millionaire. Two great books, by the way, until Mike comes out. But those are excellent books. I got taught, and I bought his course for $300, I think, on eBay. I didn't want to pay. I didn't have that much money, by the way, to go to Boston and pay $20,000, $30,000 or something. So anyway, I learned this whole business myself from ground up by reading and by listening to the CDs in my car, which I talk about Automobile University all the time in my podcasts. And your audience can go to www.vinnychopra.com if they would like to know more about me and my philosophies and things and my foundation. That's a good place. But let's talk about, how I shifted it. I have started 4 companies in the last 11 years. 2 companies we started, Ideal IG and Ideal IG Management Company, where I did 14 syndications. We didn't have much money, by the way. So the world of syndication made sense. What syndication means is to pool the money together, to get other investors involved. There is so much money around us. It's amazing that people would love to, they are entrepreneurs, they are teachers, and they are like doctors and attorneys and dentists, all of them, CPAs, but are regular people. They have money, but they are not able to learn all the techniques to invest in. That's where we are able to pool the money together from them legally through SEC ruling. And I started 2 companies 11 years back, then I started Monil Investment and Monil Management, 100% ownership company about 2 years back, 2.5 years, where I've done 12 syndications. And we control, at the peak, we controlled over $172 million. In the last company now, we're still selling from the previous one because our horizon to keep the money invested from the investors is about 5 to 7 years. That way we give the money back to them original investment plus the equity gain, and plus they keep on getting cash flow since we bought the property. So we have been able to give Rocky about 18% to 26% per year, by the way, per year. They are happy. Our investors are happy. I started with one investor, by the way, 11 years back. We have about 130 investors now. They kept on telling their other friends and relatives and so forth. So the base is grown now. And I can raise about 6 million to 10 million in a couple of days when I have a property locked in and so forth. So answer your question, multifamily is the one that has given us the lifestyle that we have now. And I am really a systems guy, logical guy with engineering degree, and now with a MBA also, and also with the engineering, with the broker license. So I have built 67 team members in last 2 years, my new company. So I work remotely out of California, but I have VP of operation, VP of finance, VP of acquisitions, VP of investor relations, and where I'm fully involved with everybody on a daily basis, not as much though, but then I fly to the properties like I'm leaving tomorrow for rest of the week. We got a very beautiful party, holiday party organized. We'll have 89 people, I think, over there in Houston area. And then I'm building a brand new company now in Atlanta area where I'm purchasing also, which I just purchased $23 million worth of assets there. And I'm also bringing a $50 million fund coming up in middle of January. Oh my gosh, next month. And that's for my accredited investors. Everything has to be done very nicely through legal ramifications. That's how I believe in. I hired the right attorneys. I have 5 attorneys in my team now who guide me through the real estate part of it, through syndication part of it, and litigation part of it, and also the wealth attorney who is my counsel. So all those people are amazing people. You got to build right people around you to get everything done. That's what I've done. Now, I'm never at the closing. I'm never at the broker also. I have beautiful team of broker house, Brandon and his team work for me. And when we are ready to get the loans, Fannie Mae, Freddie Macs. So I have systems set up. Then we have each property. We have the community managers, assistant community managers, lead maintenance, assistant lead to the lead, and the make ready. 4 or 5 full-time people employed by my company are there at every asset so that we can really make sure that the cash flows are coming. Our whole business is set up totally transparent. That's what I decided many years back, way back, that our investors can ask for anything. P&Ls, of course, everybody gives, rent rolls, everybody gives, but any kind of ledgers, general ledgers, bids, checks, bank accounts, they totally free to go to the properties, shop them without telling us. So, and I do a meeting every quarter with my investors, every quarter live presentation, which is video, and they can ask me any kind of questions, and we do PowerPoints and record them. We provide the link to our investors also. Lots of them have really given some great comments over the years, and we put them all at that www.vinnychopra.com. That's VINNEY Chopra.com right there.
If someone wants to make an investment in real estate, they don't have the time, So they decide, well, maybe I'm going to be someone who lends money and does this. What's the best way to do due diligence of the deal to make sure that it's a good investment?
Excellent, excellent. I would say, Rocky, first of all, they need to really look in their own circle. There are operators like me. They need to really look into the reviews. They need to look at their track record. They need to talk to some of the investors who have invested with them for not just 1 year, not just 2 years, but last several years, 5 years, 10 years, and what their business model is and what their properties are, where they invest in. Again, I'm partial to multifamily because that is the one sector in commercial market that's going to stay for years and years, because millennials are not liking to buy homes anymore. They like the portability aspect of it. So they are renting beautiful B-class neighborhood, A-class neighborhoods or B-class in B properties so that they can afford A-class are very high expensive properties, which are for the white collar, very high income people. Then the other segment is the seniors. The baby boomers, they are retiring. They are kind of going from single family into also senior living and things like that. And other influxes from the immigration. So multifamily is the world I live in. And I'm very, very positive and very highly motivated. For the next 20 years, I'll be in it. I'm 65. There's a lot more years left there. But the good part is they need to do due diligence in asking their track record, talking to the investors, even meeting with them face to face. All my investors, when they try to look into me, I do go to meeting or Skype where they see me, I see them, I record the session, and I send the link back to my initial investors. That way they could go through the information again and look at and make sure that they are able to talk to other people who have invested and so forth. That's how is the best way to do that. You have to see the risk tolerance, because real estate is not for everybody. Even though I've not lost a dime for anybody, my wife and I, we always feel that we will much rather make less money, but make sure our investors are taken care of. And we have done that. Any kind of property which was not able to bring cash flow, we don't take our fees and things like that. We could do it because we are 100% owner of the business. So we bring investors at Class A members. So I hope your audience will always look for Class A member. They are on the title of the property. They are invested in. They should never wire the money to anybody's LLC. They need to see all the paperwork. Like I provide a Dropbox for my investments. In the Dropbox has the property package, the PPM, the private placement memorandum, of course, operating agreement, subscription agreement, due diligence report, all the P&Ls, profit and loss statements for the last 3 years for the property or 2 years, plus also the rent rolls, the current rent rolls, my pro forma, my projections, what we'll be doing with the property, the exit strategy. Everything has to be totally given. That's the SEC ruling. So don't invest anywhere where there is no documentation and they're asking you to wire the money before filling out paperwork. That's illegal, totally illegal. And then also wiring the money into the LLC's account, which is going to own the property. That's very, very important also. So there are laws, and then if they wouldn't mind, if your audience would love to come and look into Vinny Chopra, I mentioned it. We also have moneelinvest.com, which is also, they could come to vinnychopra.com and they could go to that one also. There I answer all the questions, lots of question and answers are there, and lots of what we do and how we do it is there. And then I love to have sessions one-on-one on the internet. then provide our business model, educational brochure, and our track record, everything.
Oh, that's awesome. You're 65. Most people at 65 say, I want to retire and I'm done. You're already planning for the next 20, 30 years. So what's that all about?
See, the thing is, I just feel like if you don't stimulate your mind, you die. I believe that. I believe that we need to stimulate our mind. We need to enjoy our life, but at the same token, have a purpose to it. We need to have purpose in life. I see my friends who have retired. I retired at 62, 3 years back. I am so passionate, and my wife says, Vinod, you used to get up at 6:30, 7 o'clock, put snooze and this and that when you were doing W-2. Now you're your own boss and you don't need to work a day. You're getting up at 5 o'clock and 5:30. I'm writing book and blogs and recording my lectures because my passion right now is manifold. I want to teach everybody what I learned and my all the techniques and my everything. So that's why I started the multifamily syndication academy.com. That's where people can look at my lectures and listen and so forth. But then I'm very passionate right now to build lifestyles of a lot of people around me so that they could retire and also earn respectable cash flows. Then they could spend time into their hobbies and their companies and things which so that they can really enjoy just walking to the I say my investors walk to the mailbox 4 times a year because we pay quarterly, we don't pay monthly. They just go there and pick up their checks, and it's all done by bill pay from Wells Fargo. I love to meet with my investors. So in a day, I work maybe 4 hours a day or something like that, Rocky. But at the same token, I'm spending a lot more other time to really hone in my skills and then impart my knowledge.
Well, that's awesome. It sounds like you're enjoying life. You're living it to the fullest. You're doing what you want. You're generating massive amounts of income. No wonder you're smiling all day.
Well, it's kind of like the thing I really believe in, and one of my very best mentor who really influenced my life, his name was, and he passed away this year, Spencer Hayes. Wonderful, wonderful soul, and just guided me very nicely to what I am today. And a lot of my other managers and leadership people. I was with one company 37 years, a long time, and then I was doing real estate learning and investing on the sideline, and which really paid off big time towards my retirement and so forth. But you're right. You can be as active as you want to be. I would highly recommend everybody to really find purpose in life, whether we are 70 years or 80 years or 90 or 60 or 50, because that purpose has to guide us, volunteering our time, impart your knowledge. One thing I've been teaching lots of people around me now is that what was your profession? What can you impart knowledge through blogging, through videotaping, through writing, through all these different things? What can you leave behind? If you don't need money, just leave it free on the internet. Get involved in other avenues so that you can really get up every morning and just say that, you know what, I'm going to enjoy time with the family, but also I want to be putting knowledge and everything I learned, skills, into other people's hands. I think that's a good mission in life. And there are so many things we can do in life, so many things till we die. Why not? Why not to make it a better place, even more than what it is today?
Absolutely. I totally agree with you. And that's the whole purpose of this podcast, is to share just the simple things of how to build wealth. And then once you have money, how to live life beyond your money and to be able to enjoy it. And at the core is you have to know your purpose, which is what you talked about. Yet so many people are just unclear on that simple first step of know your purpose, know what you want, and go out and get it.
That's so true. So very true, Rocky. I am so glad you invited me on your show. I would love to come back again anytime. And if I made any contribution to your audience, if they would like to reach out to me, I don't mind. I don't know how many downloads are there, but my cell number, they could text me. I could send them some articles which can help them on motivation and balanced living. And I write on that also. I would love to send them my company brochure if they would like. It's 925-766-3518. And if they would like, 925-766-3518. Or they could email me at Vinny, Vinney, at vinnychopra.com. Again, Chopra, that's Chopra, Chopra. And they could go on the website. They could reach me from there also. If I can be of any help to anybody, it'll be my pleasure.
Thank you. That's a very generous offer that you've given them. I appreciate you being here on the show today. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you, Rocky. God bless you. And what a tremendous opportunity you have for giving so much to everybody around. I appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I encourage you to check out Vinny's site, vinnychopra.com. There's a link in the show notes. Are you smiling right now? Do you smile in the face of adversity? This is something I'm working on. It's a Stoic philosophy to separate yourself and thoughts from the event itself. I admit, it's really hard to do. We let our emotions put meaning on life's happenings, and depending on the way we look through the lens of our particular view, we can end up in moods we don't want to be. So today's action step, what can you do to invest yourself? Which really begs the question, what's preventing you from moving forward, and who are you putting on your team to help build the life you deserve? Taking no action creates a far worse outcome in life than trying something and failing. Syndicated real estate may be an option for you if you have money to invest and don't have the time to manage properties. You have to do your due diligence to make sure your partner is the right person. Thanks for listening. You can contact me at rocky@richyoursoul.com. Have an abundant week.